Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor to be standing here at this magnificent venue in a place of rich and storied heritage. This is a moment in time that will become part of the inspiring tradition of this great school. It is fitting that we reflect upon the history and lineage of this very place. We are grateful to meet today on land that indigenous people, including the Tuscaroras, Senecas, and other Iroquois people, have called home for thousands of years. We strive to stand with all the indigenous people today across Turtle Island, past, present, and future, in promoting the wise stewardship of the land. As a district, we seek to move forward with a spirit of peace, friendship, and respect towards all people. This is a place of honor, and it's fitting indeed that the stewardship of this land includes a celebration of graduation and the education of the lifeblood of our communities. We're forever joined in this journey, recognizing that every child matters. And today, the graduation of our children is a moment to be celebrated by all. As we near time for the processional, we ask you to find your seat and silence your cell phones. We ask you refrain from using all air horns so each student gets the recognition they have earned. As we celebrate this place and our students together, may we all give our graduates the undivided attention they deserve. We also ask you refrain from using confetti or confetti cannons on the field. This is a day we've all looked forward to with great anticipation. It promises to be a time to remember and a place of great honor and history. And now, as president of the Board of Education, I officially declare that the 67th commencement ceremony of the Niagara Wheatfield School District may begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, and to the class of 2026, today is a special day, a day to pay tribute to the accomplishments of your past and also to celebrate and acknowledge the promise that your future holds. To begin our celebration, we will be led in honoring America by senior ex officio board member Ethan Pell. Ethan will be joined on the stage by classmates Elijah Barak, Bobby Jessupetti, Sienna Miljour, Aubrey Peterson, Aaliyah Printup, Taylor Riggio, and Kaylee Vester, who will all perform our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor to serve our district on the Board of Education and now to represent our class as a graduating senior. It is with great pride that I ask you all to join me in honoring America by standing and pledging to the flag of our great nation. Please remain standing for our national anthem on this special day. And as we approach the 250th anniversary of this great nation, the national anthem will be performed by fellow classmates and members of our award-winning music department. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed
at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stones in the hand of o'er the hearts we watched were so gallantly streaming on the rocket's red glare. Lovers singing through the night, and flag was still there. Oh, sing that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, the free.
Honor Guard dismissed. Good evening, honored guests, and to the remarkable class of 2026. Welcome to the 67th graduation ceremony of this great district. Today is a celebration of achievement, perseverance, and a bright future that lies ahead. Over the past 4 years, this group has grown together, faced challenges, celebrated victories, and created memories that will last a lifetime. For generations, this district has inspired excellence, pride, and unity. This group has carried that legacy forward and soared to new heights. Through their dedication, creativity, strong character, and determination, this group has set a new standard for what it means to be a Falcon, leaving a mark on this community that will inspire all those who follow. We are all so proud of you and all of your accomplishments. Well done. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the superintendent of this great district, Mr. Daniel Lalanich.
Good evening. I am so honored to be here with you and to be your superintendent. Tonight and together, we honor a group of young adults who reached an outstanding milestone that not everyone is able to achieve. Each one has received the requisite high school credits required for graduation in New York State. And it is my honor today to address them as Niagara Wheatfield Central School District's graduating class, the class of 2026. Congratulations on reaching this important milestone in your life. And know that I'm very, very proud of each and every one of you. It seems like each year something different inspires the writing of my graduation speech. This year, it happened while I was driving down a country road when James Taylor's "You've Got a Friend" came on the radio. The lyrics of the song begin with, "When down and troubled and you need a helping hand, just think of me and I will be there." That part of the song always, and I mean always, reminds me of the importance of relationships. Whether family, friends, or work-related partners, it is relationships that truly matter. So as I'm driving and listening to the song, I first thought of how important family relations are to me. This past year, one of my family members, my father, experienced some serious health issues. The health created some challenges for sure, but our family faced them together. In the toughest of times, our family was able to lean on one another to share in the necessary care needed for our family member. Remember, time is the greatest gift you have to give. So give it to those who are closest to you and sometimes need it the most. Now, with the song still playing, my mind wandered to a mentor and friend that I was so fortunate to find 32 years ago, Raymond Dougherty. He was my cooperating teacher when I did my student teaching in Brockton, New York. He was an incredible mentor and a true gentleman. When he started teaching in Brockton Central School District, he was not only the teacher of his students, but he also drove them each morning on the school bus. Brockton is a small rural district, and Mr. Dougherty epitomized everything good in education, and also the greatness of being from a close-knit community. He always put the needs of students at the forefront, something that I am so proud to say is a hallmark of our NW school community. Now, before the song ended, my mind shifted to some key work-related partners. First, I thought of Jan Ball. Many of you know Jan. She is the retiring secretary of the superintendent. Jan has spent her career working diligently to make the lives of those in our school community a little easier. Whether it was assisting a parent who was in need of help, efficiently streamlining important projects, or taking care of the superintendent, Jan always put the needs of the district front and center. Everyone in attendance tonight has an individual or individuals in their lives who have done things to make their lives a little better, a little easier, or maybe provided some relief during a burdensome time. I want you to think of those people right now and then make a promise to yourself to reciprocate and pay it forward. I do want to take a moment to recognize an individual sitting under the tent to my left, Mr. Frank Strangio. As over the past decade, he has worked hand in hand with our district to build an incredibly strong bond with the NWAA. His work will benefit children in our district for many years to come. Thank you, Frank. Here today, we also have Mr. Alan Pogel, class of 1973 alumnus, recently retired teacher and outstanding coach, who continues to act as a graduation consultant because he loves this district, its students, and always wants to make their experiences the best they can be here at NW. Thank you, Mr. Pogel. Also in our presence tonight are numerous first responders, including police officers, EMS professionals, and our volunteer firefighters who each year provide us with that incredible flag over there. Let's give them a nice round of applause. In a moment, I will be turning the microphone over to Mr. Jason Myers. Jason is an NW alumnus and has served the Board of Education for 9 years and is the current board president. Before I step away from the podium, I want to wish every member of the class of 2026 all the best in your future endeavors. Remember, life is your own personal journey, but you are never alone on that journey. As you face times of trouble or need a helping hand, you've got a friend here at NW. Thank you, congratulations, and best wishes. It is now my pleasure to call Mr. Jason Myers to the stand.
Thank you very much. Graduates, families, teachers, friends. For those who don't know me, I've had the privilege of serving on the school board since 2017. First elected when many of these graduates were finishing the 3rd grade. And it's been a joy and it's been an honor. Today is a day of achievement. We celebrate diplomas earned, friendships formed, challenges overcome, and closing one chapter before the beginning of another. But as you step into that next chapter, I want to talk about something even more important than success. I want to talk about truth. The greatest challenge many of you will face is not figuring out what is right, and often you'll already know, but the real challenge is having the courage to stand by what you know is right when everyone else is telling you otherwise. I learned that lesson in an unexpected way when sitting in 8th grade earth science class, right over there at Edwardtown Middle School. One day, Miss Standora, who's well retired now, she asked a question about meandering streams, some of you may recall, and asked where the greatest erosion would occur. Just a random earth science question. She offered several possible answers and then began polling the class. And one by one, hands went up for the same answer. Everyone was glancing around the room, looking at what some of the other kids were raising their hands for. And I found myself alone. My hand was raised for an answer that the rest of the class had rejected. And I knew I had the correct answer, but as more and more classmates sided against me, I felt a strange sensation. Someone else be wrong. And Miss Sandora the class further, and yet I was the only one left standing by. And then she said, and then asked me to explain my answer. And that moment taught me something that I had never forgotten. Something out is wrong. And years later, I'd realized that psychologists have studied this tendency for decades. In the 1950s, researcher Solomon Asch conducted what became one of the most famous experiments in psychology. Participants were shown a simple line and then asked which of 3 other lines matched its length. And the correct answer was obvious, but there was a catch. Everyone else in the room was secretly part of the experiment. And one by one, these actors intentionally gave the wrong answer. And remarkably, many participants ignored what they could plainly see with their own eyes and went along with the crowd and gave the wrong answers too. Now think about that. Not because they were unintelligent, not because they lacked information, but simply because they didn't want to be the only ones who disagreed, even though they knew exactly what the right answer was. People were willing to deny what they could clearly see with their own eyes, simply because everyone else was telling them something different. A lesson of the Asch conformity study isn't that people are weak. It's that pressure to conform is incredibly powerful, and it affects all of us. And the pressure to conform doesn't disappear after high school. In college, you may feel pressure to stay silent when your opinion is unpopular. In the workplace, you may feel pressure to ignore something dishonest because everyone else does. In friendships and relationships, you may feel pressure to compromise your value to gain acceptance. And social media amplifies pressure around the clock. Every day we're shown what's trending, what's popular, and what everyone else supposedly thinks. And the temptation is not simply to be right, it's to fit in. But popularity and truth have never been the same thing. And as our nation marks its 250th year, it's worth remembering that many of the ideas that we now take for granted began as minority opinions. The signers of the Declaration of Independence challenged one of the most powerful governments in the world because they believed certain things were worth defending. When the signers of the Declaration declared that all people were created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, they were not expressing the majority opinion. They were not expressing the majority opinion of the most powerful people in the world. They were actually challenging it. And for the support of the Declaration, they held a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence and pledged to each other their lives, fortune, and sacred honor. And when the Constitution established a system designed to protect liberty, free speech, freedom of conscience, it reflected a belief that individuals must be free to pursue truth, even when their views differ from those of the majority. And our nation was built on the conviction of conscience is not a threat to freedom, but one of its necessities. And history shows that progress often begins with people who refuse to surrender what they know to be right. One example is the reformer Martin Luther. When I was in high school, global class, I had a report on Luther and his influence on the world. And it had quite the impact on me. At the Diet of Worms, he stood before powerful political and religious authorities and was ordered to recant his beliefs and his writings. His 95 theses and other writings were sending a shockwave through the power establishment. The pressure on him was immense. He risked his life, and it would have been far easier to recant, and doing so would have been far safer. Instead, he chose conscience over comfort and stood firm in what he believed. Whether one agrees with all of Luther's conclusions or not, his example reminds us that conviction can withstand enormous pressure. In 2017, shortly after I was elected to the school board, I actually visited Worms, Germany, and other sites during the 500th anniversary of the Reformation. And there's a monument there consisting of a pair of bronze footprints. And visit where Luther stood, and imagine the incredible weight of that moment, and contemplate how they may have responded. What history often remembers is victory. However, what it should remember is the courage required before victory even ever arrives. Your generation will face its own moments of pressure. You live in a world of viral opinions and endless invitations to join one side or the other. You're often told what to think before you've had the chance to think for yourselves. You'll be tempted to measure truth by likes, popularity, or approval. Don't. The number of people who believe something does not determine whether it's true. The loudness of a voice does not determine whether it's right. And the fear of standing alone should never determine your convictions. Instead, seek truth relentlessly. Test everything. Hold fast to what is good. Question ideas. Test ideas. Examine assumptions. Listen carefully to people who disagree with you. Be humble enough to change your mind when the evidence requires it. But never abandon a conviction simply because you're outnumbered. Character is revealed when doing right comes with a cost. Anyone can be brave when bravery is popular. Anyone can speak when everyone agrees. But the real test comes when truth demands courage. And when that moment arrives, and they will, I hope you remember this, that you were not created to be an echo. You are not educated merely to repeat what others say. You are given a mind to think, a conscience to guide you, and a voice to speak what you believe is true and good. There may be time when standing for truth costs you popularity, comfort, opportunity, or approval. Stand anyway. Because the people who leave the deepest mark in the world are rarely the ones who simply fit in. They're the ones who remain faithful to what is true when it would have been easier to bend. And graduates, I hope you achieve great success. I hope you accomplish remarkable things, and I hope you build meaningful careers and fulfilling lives. But above all, I hope you become people of courage, people who seek truth, people who welcome honest disagreement, people who refuse to surrender their conscience to the crowd, and people who stand for what is right and good, even if they must stand alone, though you do have many friends here at Niagara Wheatfield. Congratulations, class of 2026. May you have the wisdom to recognize truth, the humility to keep searching for it, and the courage to follow it wherever it may lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lalanich and Mr. Myers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to call forward for the honor of presenting the salutatorian's address, Lorelei Ashby.
Good evening, administration, teachers, parents, guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2026. It is an honor to be your salutatorian, and I thank you for being here with us at the Niagara Wheatfield commencement ceremony. I would like to thank NW staff for inviting me to speak to you today. I would also like to thank my mom and my dad, my family and my friends who always made the time to listen and encourage me to do better. While I have the privilege to stand before you now, I did not get here on my own. Over 60 wonderful teachers and coaches have raised me in the district and supported me throughout this journey. They challenged me to work harder, learn from my mistakes, and become the best version of myself. I would like to express my gratitude to Mrs. Nalbone, Mr. Udy, Mrs. Raimondi, Madame Mayo, and Mr. Tylek for always being there for me when I needed them. Being in their classrooms has helped me more than they realized. Edwardtown Middle School was the meeting place for many of us and where our stories started to intertwine. It's incredible to look at the classmates sitting beside us and recognize how much we've matured and changed. In the past 4 years, we've experienced a lot together. From hearing about the new auditorium and seeing the slow progression over the years, to the terrible songs at homecoming and the mystery sauce on the steak at prom. From posting on Be Real to sending applications on the Common App. We have grown so much since the first time we walked into this school, and I could not be more grateful for the memories we've made here and the bonds we've made with one another. It is funny to think that after years of walking the same halls and being in the same classrooms, that this is the last time we will all be in the same place together. We will go on to pursue college, enter the workforce or trade schools, enlist in the military, or follow our own paths. Our time here has shaped us into the people we are today. During high school, it is easy to compare yourself to others and lose track of where you're supposed to be. Of course, we compare achievements and grades, but it's important to recognize that success looks different on everyone. We all entered this school together, and we're all leaving it together. The embarrassing moment in 7th grade doesn't matter anymore, nor does the test you failed junior year, because what matters is the present, where we are today and where we will go tomorrow. The connections and experiences we've made here will be valued for the rest of our lives. And even though every single one of us today will be leaving here to start a different journey, we are all taking the correct steps to get us where we want to be in life. Along our journeys, there will be setbacks, but we must continue to strive for the futures we've dreamed of. Thomas Edison once said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." We know we're capable of completing difficult tasks, and we know we can adapt to change. As we enter the next chapter of our lives, we must remember to always persevere on our journey. We may not know what the future holds for us at this moment, but what we do know is that we will always have a home here at Niagara Wheatfield. This school, these teachers, our classmates will always be a part of each one of us. No matter how far we go in the future, we will always share the years we spent together here. To the class of 2026, be proud of everything we've done. Let us celebrate how far we've come. Let us appreciate those who helped us get here. And let us have a safe and successful future ahead. Thank you.
Lorelai, you will be receiving the salutatorian's medal, symbolic of the hard work and dedication necessary to achieve this high academic honor. On behalf of the Niagara Wheatfield School District, congratulations. It is with great pride that we bring forward a student who has achieved the very highest standard of excellence in the class of 2026. For the honor of presenting the valedictory address, Brielle Peterson.
Good evening, Superintendent Lalanich, Board of Education, faculty, family, friends, Emma Hurley, and the class of 2026. Life is about balance. You may have thought I got here by focusing on my education and making school my top priority. This is only partially true. Many valedictorians probably dedicate their entire lives to get to this point, but I personally don't believe in only letting one thing determine your approach to life. I wanted to balance my time around enjoying my life while still understanding how important my education was. Academics were a focus of mine, but only to a certain degree. I am actually the most last-minute person ever, and I'm really good at procrastinating. I personally work best under the pressure of the night before assignment was due, because as Coach Pogel always says, pressure makes diamonds. My favorite thing to tell my teachers was that the assignments weren't actually late. I just forgot to hand them in. Along with being valedictorian, I was also able to balance sports along with academics. I get to live out my dream of committing to my college to continue my track career. I set some time aside for school, some time aside for sports, but most of my time spent in high school was on having fun, and I think that was the most important part. From lots of hangouts and sleepovers on school nights at Alyssa's, thanks Frankenmeyer, to our many Sushi Queen visits, I have kept a great group of friends throughout high school that really helped shape my high school experience. These have been the best 4 years of my life so far. I am very grateful for the friends that made it happen. To the class of 2026, thanks for being the best class I could have graduated with. We hold a crazy legacy, 2-time Powder Puff champs and undefeated in tug of war and pep rallies. obviously the two most notable things we have done. This school is going to shambles with us next year without us here. We are the last good class, if I'm being quite honest. Even the teachers knew this too, as we have 13 of them graduating along with us. That really makes this graduation even sadder because these teachers have left such an impact on Niagara Wheatfield and will be greatly missed. So my message for all the underclassmen in the crowd, don't spend all your time stressing about school or sports or any one thing. Just make sure you find happiness. Make sure you find balance and enjoy these years because you will never get them back. And for my fellow graduates, it doesn't matter if you loved high school or hated it because we have our entire futures ahead of us. This was just the beginning. Graduation is just the start of a new chapter in our lives, meaning that we get to decide what our future holds for us. So let's be sure to make it a good one. Always strive for the best and work harder than the person next to you. And more than anything, be a winner like Brielle. Now, there are some important people that deserve to be mentioned. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for feeding me only healthy foods as a child because you built an athlete. Thanks to all my coaches for always being there for me and trying to get me to perform my best. Thanks to all my favorite teachers who really made high school fun for me. You guys know who you are. Those who know me well know that I'm not a very sentimental person, but this place and these people mean so much to me, so I will end with this. Thank you, N-Dubs, for these memorable years, and as Mr. K likes to say, nobody creams the wheat.
Thank you, Brielle. Brielle, today you are receiving the Valedictorian's Medal, symbolic of the hard work and dedication that you put forth to achieve the status of valedictorian for the 2026 Niagara Wheatfield graduating class. On behalf of Niagara Wheatfield School District, congratulations. Superintendent Lalanich, will you please join me at the podium? Will the class of 2026 please rise? Superintendent Lalanich, as principal of the senior high school, I certify that the students presented here have fulfilled all of the requirements set forth under New York State education law and Niagara Wheatfield district policy. They are now prepared to receive the recognition for the work that they have successfully completed.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Regents of the State of New York and as Superintendent of Schools, it is my honor to confer upon these students the Niagara Wheatfield High School diploma with all of the rights and benefits pertaining unto them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of 2026. The graduates may now be seated and the presentation of diplomas may begin.
Brielle Eva Peterson. Lorelei Rose Ashford. Addison Bell Chase. Zachary Paul Burwell. Lucky Gopal Jose Cruz. Sienna Arlene Miljor. Mia Sonia Guida. Jake Benjamin Zorn. Emma Rose Davidson. Olivia Jane Jekovich. Emma Lees Hurley. Mark Vincent Cerrone Piowarchek. Lissa Gabriella Strangio. Luciana Mia Strangio. Ethan Jacob Powell. Haley Lynn Toby. Natalie Patricia Acevedo. Aiden Allen Aguilar. Bander Jalal Al-Harabi. Gabriella Italia Allen. Lincoln Anthony Allen. Zachary John Almond. Good job. Lana Eamon Swanson. Ethan Joseph Asbel. Michael Eugene Barber. Aiden Joseph Bateman. Cheyenne May Bateman. Christian James Beaver. Brooke Elizabeth Becker. Carter Timothy Becker. Elijah Edward Barak. Nicholas Michael Barent. Olivia Sue Berg. Nolan Benjamin Bernharder. Navraj Singh Bular. Shiloh C. Mark Bishop. Varen Andrew L.T. Blazina. Mackenzie Grace Bolander. Matthew James Booth. Anthony Joseph Botticelli. Emma Lee Marie Bozek. Maverick James Brandon. Dylan Patrick Brandt Jones. Benjamin Maurice Braley. Brian L. Bukowski Jr. Liam Grant Kanata. Richard James Carbon. Natalie Diane Carney. Riley Paul Carpin. Drew Joseph Carr. Mila Sophie Chapia. Kennedy Lynn Shute. Beth Mackenzie Cook. Mariah Grace Constantino. Reese Edward Kokenauer. Keaton Joseph Kramer. Ethan Michael Kronk. Reese Richard Saganovich. Aaron Darnell Dean. Alexis Lynn Digcross. Brody Alexander Denhays. Hayden Alexander DeSantis. William John Dietz Jr. Ronald Jacob Danino. Antonino Carl Jacob DeStefano. Olivia Karen Doctor. Isabel Vian Doria. Paul Matthew Dorico. Lorelei Mackenzie Doxberger. Dominica Karen Drake. Trey Armani Dubuck. Jackson Robert Dunn. Nathan Scott Dunn. Evan Patrick Dutton. Gabriel Desilat. You nervous? Don't be nervous. Cal Vincent Willard Fozzie. Robin Lance Ferguson. Rocco Rashad Ferguson. Roland Nathaniel Ferguson. Robert Jeffrey Ferguson, Jr. John Richard William Fike. Sheldon Corey Fisher, Jr. Isaac Lopaka Franklin. Connor David Fry. Gianna Florence Galante. Jesse Aaron Gant. Molly Morgan, Morgan Molly Giantonio. Sorry, Morgan. Natalie Catherine Geisler. Samara Gill. Kenneth J. Giroux. Robert William Giuseppe. Isabella Nicole Greenewald. Ryan Brooks Gundell. Feel good? Evan James Hannah. Haley Elizabeth Hanson. Eric Scott Hateman Jr. Tyler Thomas Harlan. Bain Henry Holloway. Oceana Lynn Hoyt. Maris Catherine Huff. Hannah Catherine Isaac. Jaleese Cora Jean Isaacs. Kaylee Patricia Janik. Logan Scott Jaruski. Parker David Jasper. Adriana Elizabeth Jekovich. 。 Kuba Jenjachik. Emma Christine Joyce. George Daniel Young. Cheyenne Kachanowski. Grace Sophia Casella. Artur Kashkin. Isabella Jean Katz. Agamjat Kaur. Lucas Keller. Caleb Alfonso Knight. Fiona Grace Kramer. Emily May Croning. Jacob Ryland Croning. Nathan James Croning. Juliana Marie Ann Lambert. Anaya Christina Land. Evan Michael Larada. William Lucian Lazars. Nicholas Ryan Leffler. Autumn Leanne Lewis. Demarion Albert Lewis. Giovanni Matthew Liberali. Evan Charles Lingle. Sonia Samir Lockett. Addison Marguerite Lucas. Cooper Lucas. Lilia Ariel Lyon. Dia Magid. Aiden James Majeski. Griffin Magnus Mullaney. Qasim Raham Mangla. Emily Elizabeth Mans. Jose Juan Matos. Andrew Emerson Maxwell. Bailey Maxwell. Ava Elizabeth May. Elena Jade McKenzie. Amanda Marie McKinstray. Mason James Meisner. Shakina Jonte Miller. Takina Monique Miller. Maxwell Ryan Miller. Dustin Lee Malacker. Ryan Alexander Moore. Treyon Moore. Cole Edward Nagy. Evan James O'Donnell. Ethan Russell Ortman. Justina Lorraine Osich. Gavin Robert Outland. Tucker Joseph Outland.
There you go.
Tatiana Onia Panessa. Cooper Joseph Pizzeri. Heidi Cassandra Neely. Aubrey Jade Peterson. Brandon Christopher Phillips. Aaliyah Printup. Kaylin Yvonne Pryor Skabinski. Connor Daniel Quiter. Travis Lee Reed. Vincent Louis Achapatiti. Olivia Joy Rebecca. Chase James Richards. Amelia Rickard. Kaya May Rickard. Angelo Joseph Riggio. Taylor Brianna Riggio. Josiah Santino Rivera. Dylan M. Rodriguez Terry. Allison Leanne Roma. Adam Anthony Ross Jr. Mason Nohea Russell. Raina Summer Sanabria. Joseph Robert Scalzo. Kristen Elizabeth Shellis. Olivia Alexandra Skazava. It's pretty easy. Isaac Sears. Zachary Eric Segan. Logan Arthur Senek. Xavier Gerald Severance. Ella Rose Scroy. Brendan Christopher Sheldon. Lauren Elizabeth Simon. Nolan Allen Slattery. Alexander O. Smith. Allison Grace Smith. Leah Elaine Smith. Samuel George Smith. Liam David Snowberger. Eleonora Joanne Spina. Colin Edward Stefanucci. Dominic Francis Stott. Trinity Ann Strazag. Mackenzie Ray Sweeney. Kira Rose Zarbin. Sabrina Eliarovna Tiarova. Caleb Ryan Thomason. Lindsay Jean Tylak. Lucas Martin Tylak. Haley B. Vester. Brad Lee Vincent. Isabella Olivia Vreiniger. Vreiniger. I said it right. Aiden John Wagner. Seth Joshua Waller. Alyssa Ann Walters. Haley Marie Watson. Maya Rihanna Wills. Anthony Michael Yates. Ava McCaden Young Guazdag. Olivia Alice Young. Domenico Anthony Zuccari. Dominic Gregory Zuccari. Haley Paige Zisk.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2026. For the purpose of bidding a fond farewell to her classmates, it is a pleasure to introduce to you the president of the class of 2026, Emma Hurley.
Faculty, friends, loved ones, Brielle, and most importantly, the class of 2026. I am so honored to stand here before you as class president. I have loved every moment serving this class, and I am so grateful to speak on our behalf today. First, let's take a moment to reflect back on these past few years of high school. As Nico said, what a ride. This journey wasn't easy. It was filled with ups and downs, but here we are graduating all together. 4 years, graduation has felt so far away. Since freshman year, we've watched the previous classes
walked this stage, imagining what it would feel like to be in their place. Well, here we are. We are those graduates. And shortly, we will flip our tassels to the other side, signifying the end of our high school careers. Whether we liked it or not, these 4 years transformed us in ways we didn't always see happening. We are who we are because of this school and these people. To my mom, dad, and brother, thank you for being there for me throughout all the challenges life throws. Your love, support, and belief in me has been a constant throughout all of the best and worst moments. You've stood by my side throughout it all, and I wouldn't be who I am without you. I love you guys. To my coaches, especially Coach Shucker, thank you for always showing up for me and being a coach on and off the field. One day, if I have the honor to coach others, and I'm even a fraction of the Coach Shucker is, I would consider myself the second best coach in the world. To my classmates, thank you for being the people I get to take this journey with. To Mr. Canio, thank you for dedicating so much time to our class. Your leadership has made so many of our memories possible. Let's go back to elementary school, where our worries were about recess and whether or not there would be nacho grande for lunch. Something that somehow stuck with us throughout all of high school. That's where many of us found a first friend. Maybe that person is still a friend, maybe they became a best friend, or maybe they aren't even in our lives anymore. But those connections helped us realize the kind of people we want to be, because you are who you give your time to. As many of us who are Eric Road students know, Don't Give Up on Me by Andy Grammer played a huge role in our early years. And a line we will never forget is, no matter what this world will throw, it won't shake me loose. Graduating means changing. It's leaving behind what we know and what we are comfortable with, but we will not let that break us. Beyond just being in classes together, we have achieved so much and created so many memories. Among those is being two-time Powder Puff champions. Woo. A moment we will all cherish forever. Moments like that truly bring people together. And what better way to celebrate than to ruin an Applebee's server's day by bringing in 70 teenagers. In the fall, we experienced our seniors' sunrise. This signified the beginning of the NEN. We all laughed, took pictures, and headed to Tim Hortons to once again ruin a server's day. We had small moments. Spirit days, lunchroom talks, pickleball games. We didn't appreciate it much then, but one day we will look back and miss these simple moments. A couple of weeks ago, we had our senior sunset. That experience signified the end of our high school chapter in the book we are writing. We bought blankets, games, and enjoyed each other's company. And now, this is the last moment we all will be spending together. This moment is so much more than a step up. Life is going to be so different, but never forget the people around you in this moment. We grew together and we learned together. Sooner or later, each and every one of us will be feeling the same emotions we felt on the first day of high school. Scared, excited, hopeful. Change is a feeling like no other. It holds so many emotions wrapped up in one. Take hold of your dreams and make them a reality. Do not live life like scared. Go out there and make mistakes. Mistakes and learning from them are what makes us the best possible versions of ourselves. In the words of Dr. Seuss, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. So please, classmates, appreciate this moment and always remember, once a falcon, always a falcon. Thank you.
Will the class of 2026 please rise? Will those of you in the audience that graduated from Niagara Wheatfield also please rise? Graduates, having met all of your requirements and having been conferred upon you the Niagara Wheatfield diploma, you may now, as a class, move your tassel to the left. Alumni, community members, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the rich history of Niagara Wheatfield, the newly graduated class of 2026. Friends and families and guests, to honor our graduates, we ask that you please remain at your seats at the newest class of Niagara Wheatfield graduates proudly exits during our recessional music.